Seatbelt on too. You know what? The Admiral needs to take the seatbelt off here.
Hey everyone, welcome
Hey.
to the Movie Throne. I'm your host, the one and only King freaking Kansas, and I'm with a very quiet Admiral right to my left here. You're right on the screen if you guys are watching correctly, because I will be flipping the image here. I don't know what kind of Admiral you're gonna get. He is quiet. He has brought something that's sitting on his lap right now, and I'm telling you right now, he's scaring me a little bit. And the King doesn't get scared by much, but I think he means business, guys. I'm going to say my quick bit because I want the Admiral to address the small elephant in the room. You guys know we're tackling Andor, the final episodes, episode 10, 11, and 12. And boy, were there episodes. Like the King said last week. Last week's episodes, must-see TV. This week, I don't know what kind of TV that was, but overall, kind of let down for me personally. I'm not going to get into details. I want the Admiral to give the details because he's a Star Wars guru there. Was expecting more. Didn't get a lot. It ended good. It didn't end well. That's my personal. I expected more, especially when the Admiral was expecting. His expectations were just a little higher than mine, but they were reasonable. He's not reaching out there and stuff like that, but it was okay. It ended well. My personal opinion, still like season 1 better than I did season 2 overall. Best 3 episodes, I'm still going to stick with them, was last week's episode 7, 8, and 9. Star Wars 100%. Anything. So anyways, Admiral, King's going to stay quiet, have his French vanilla here, and be quiet while you converse with Throne Nation. Go ahead, Admiral. The floor is yours. Try not to kill anybody.
Guys, you know, the hat only ever comes out when
He means business.
When I don't like something.
And that's rare.
Guys, I was disappointed. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I get why they made some of the decisions that they made.
Okay.
But man, watching episodes 10, 11, and 12 was like watching the climax first, the rising action second, and the introduction last.
So they reversed the order is what you're saying.
And honestly, like, come on, man. It had so much potential to be good. You know, 7, 8, and 9 set it up to be, and I'm talking episode 7, 8, and 9.
They know that. Don't worry.
Andor, not the new trilogy.
Not the movies, guys,
Yes.
okay? Simpletons?
Set it up to be really good, you know? Especially that Senate episode, you know? When you saw, when they took Mon out of the Senate, and she gave that speech, and she called out Emperor Palpatine. Oh, there's a dog running by here. Big dog.
It's okay. We're distracted. We're in the Humvee, I want to call it.
Yeah, we're in the Admiral's Humvee.
Yes. We're outside.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the Admiral didn't give the dog the death stare and just...
But getting back to this.
Yes.
You know, Palpatine got called out. And there was no repercussion for that. I'm thinking that would have been the best opportunity to bring Vader in.
I agree.
And have him, hey, you failed, or you know,
something.
Or see the Emperor, you failed me.
Something.
You know,
something. But
what happens?
Nothing.
Yeah. And what happens? The story starts to digress. So we're seeing people coming to terms, finding out about the Death Star.
Yes.
Coming to terms with the truth. They're hustling to get off Coruscant. They're hustling to get to Yavin so that they can form the rebellion. But it's between all of those things that we could have had some good action sequences and made it challenging for the characters.
I agree with you.
It was a lot of dialogue. It was a lot of boring parts.
It was.
Draggy.
Yep.
You know, stuff that was just like, I guess... I get it. They're trying to be gritty with the characters and real in the sense of the conversations that they have and everything. But man, it really did need some action. Like, there was a couple of action sequences. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know, there was the infiltration of the apartment on Coruscant.
That was the best episode, in my opinion, of the last
second half of episode 11.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, that was still okay.
That was good. But as far as the first half of episode 11 and all of episode 12, it was like, I don't know, they dropped the ball, guys. I was not happy. But
unnecessary.
I'm gonna give the flip side, okay?
Yes, Admiral.
I understand I don't even know if this is what they were thinking, but when you watch Return of the Jedi, there's a sequence between the Emperor and Luke where they're having a back and forth with one another, you know, and Luke's like, your overconfidence is your weakness.
Yeah.
The Emperor probably didn't see all of this as a really big threat and was confident and didn't care.
Nope.
You know, and maybe felt, you know what, we are so big, we have so much power.
Yeah, it wasn't even on the
radar.
radar.
Insignificant. And that's what he even says, like at one point when the rebellion's already so big and on his doorstep on Death Star 2.
Yes.
And he's like, it was greater than the insignificant little band of rebels that you are, you know? Yeah. So he's overconfident, right? You know, so I'm thinking maybe he said, I'm going to leave it to my minions and let them deal with it. I'm not going to bring
It's
Vader
not at
in.
his level that it's necessary for
It's
him.
not, yeah. It's
not important, right, Admiral?
It's not important yet. The urgency wasn't there yet.
No.
And, you know, and again, I think ultimately
episode.
the overconfidence of the Emperor led to his downfall eventually, right?
Yeah.
And it's evident. I can see maybe why they did that, but man, put some action sequences in there and make it exciting. Have another antagonist that's powerful, you know, or something. Like, put something in there. A couple of bounty hunters, you know, that the Empire hired to search out Luthen, you know. Not just the ISB who sits around and just talks, you know, and like they're all complaining and plotting and, you know.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know, like I said, I don't think it was unnecessary.
You know, I don't want to sit here and bash it, but you know what? Thumbs down for the Admiral. I was disappointed.
Especially the finale three, the final final 2 episodes, say. Yeah. Episode and a half, right?
Episode and a half, the final episode and a half.
Now, did you agree with the King off camera? We were saying that if they would have ended episode 10 and then do the sequential little whatever they decided to do in episode 12.
But tied up the loose ends with a couple of scenes there.
Exactly. At the end of 12, they could have just tapped that on number 10 and you didn't even need episode 11 or 12.
You know,
because you lost your opportunities to use Vader. Like I said, even that guy who off camera offs himself, that would have been a perfect opportunity to introduce Vader. That was the second chance they had to use the Emperor or Vader that the Admiral wanted.
That was the Supervisor Partagaz.
Yeah, I don't know the names, guys. You know, King's bad with names. He's old.
He's the head supervisor of the ISB, right?
Yeah.
He knew he was going to get it. There was no way. Like even Director Krennic told him, "I can't protect you."
No, and he just walked out of the room.
Yeah, so
it's like, if you're on your own, ciao.
I think what would have happened if he didn't off himself, he would have been taken to Vader or the Emperor or the firing squad. Off camera.
Yeah,
but again, if you're gonna do something in that timeline, you gotta put Vader in it, man. At some point, even in some little way.
I agree. Make it memorable.
You know,
it wasn't memorable, guys. Like, I'm honest to God, Admiral, the King's gonna forget about most of this season, because if it wasn't for those 3 episodes, did we need Andor season 2?
I did like in Andor season 2. You gotta look at how the Imperial Senate worked and how the politics of things were.
Yeah,
but
I'm not a politics guy.
Like 7, 8, and 9 were phenomenal.
Yes,
and I think like
best
what you
episodes ever for
like
Star Wars.
You said. I think if they just maybe made 10 a movie, like maybe an hour and a half or something like that.
Make it 2 hours finale. That's it. That's all they needed.
They could have threw Vader in there for one scene or two.
Because they dragged it on, Admiral, for no reason at all. Like, you're not going to bring Vader. You're not going to bring the Emperor. You're not going to bring somebody big. Chewbacca, I don't know. Was he around then? I'm just throwing names at people.
They're off smuggling somewhere, working for Jabba the Hutt at that point, right?
Who's Andor's robot buddy? What's his name?
K2SO.
That was a cool scene with him wrecking shop. Yeah. I'm like, okay, we're starting off well. And then all of a sudden, like the Admiral said, to reverse the climax of the finale, basically 10 should have been number 12 and then go backwards. Like, that's an accurate analogy, buddy. I'll tell you right now, Admiral, you know what you're talking about, you know? I don't know. He's quiet. I was worried he was going to use the Force against the King or something like that. You know, I was ready to bail out of the side.
I was a lot more upset too.
He was directly when you finished watching it. Oh yeah, the long text. I never saw the Admiral be so angry in my life, guys. And that's through text messaging. I was worried what he's going to do in person here.
But Admiral likes to be an Admiral where You need to look
Own
at
up
the
to
other
it.
side.
You have to own
look
up
at
to
the
it.
other side of things
Yeah.
and try to see why certain decisions were made.
Yeah.
You know, and
I know
that's what I did.
you think like that, King. I just watch it, whatever's on the page, because the thing is, I don't have the knowledge this man has, because that's what I was curious about, guys. I was disappointed, and I'm just the occasional Star Wars guy who has no clue about the universe at all. I wanted to see in the flesh what this man had to say about what I just watched, to not only confirm what the hell I was feeling, but what he was feeling, because I never seen this man disappointed. And even when we went to go see a couple of movies that were like, yeah, what a waste of time, he didn't even
I try to
want
find
to
the
say
good, you know, trying to find
Captain America, Brave New World. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, this,
Venom.
oh, that's another
Sorry, guys.
nightmares. Anyways, we're getting off topic of that. But yeah, no, like, I was let down, but because we expected this thing to end up a certain way, and especially when it's supposed to lead up to, we know there's a movie after this series.
Rogue One.
And it didn't seem to do that. It seemed, you know what it feels like to me, Admiral? That there's still a lot to be said from this last episode until the movie still. Like, you could probably squeeze in, I don't know how much more. Can you squeeze a whole bunch of events?
Well,
I don't know.
technically speaking, at the end of it, he
Yeah.
went to Kafrine.
Yeah.
And
What does he do there
in
until
Rogue
things
One,
happen?
But no, it is the direct continuation, King.
Okay.
Because in the movie, he's on Kafrine and he meets with, I think it's Elix.
So as soon as he lands, he meets immediately, is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
you see
Okay.
it cuts in if you watch a Rogue One, he's meeting him and he's getting information
Okay.
from him, and then there's Imperial troops around,
That's
and he ends up
different.
having to shoot him.
Okay, so
He kills him,
it's
right?
directly whatever. But I'm talking about stuff like his kid.
I think that's an open, like I told,
That's what I'm saying.
I told the King, I think that's going to be used in later on Star Wars projects, possibly.
Starfighter, Ryan Gosling's
Or,
character.
You know,
Speculating, guys.
you
I have
know,
no
they're
clue
gonna
what the hell
make
I'm saying.
they're gonna make stuff about the New Republic during, you know, the prequels to the Force Awakens and all that stuff like that. Eventually,
just make
right?
it good and make sense, man.
So, but they're gonna, you know, like that they're in the Mandalorian verse, right?
Mhm.
Which is in Ahsoka, which are between Return of the Jedi and the Force Awakens.
Mhm.
There's also the New Republic that rises, you know, where Leia becomes the leader of the New Republic and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, there could be room for Cassian Andor's son there, you know, somehow, they might
If
use
anybody
him or
knows
make-
Admiral, you're the one, buddy. I
Well,
have
it
no
leaves-
clue. I'm just throwing things that hopefully
I
stick on
thought
the
it was
wall.
kind of cheesy how they did that with Bix, where they show her on that planet that they were on, and she's got
Great.
a kid.
You know what it reminded me of, Admiral? Black Panther 2. That's what it reminded me. Disney, stop it.
Yeah, please.
That's what it reminded me of.
Let's get back-
He has a son. Really?
Let's get back to some serious writing with some good action sequences in it.
Admiral, the only way that's
Yeah.
going to happen
Star
is
Wars
if
isn't
you go
that-
to George Lucas's office, knock on his front door, the gates there, and let him write you some stuff. Because
Well-
you write some stuff. Because honestly, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Well,
Don't do stupidness, guys. That's all the King doesn't ask. Like, it didn't make sense to me.
Star Wars isn't all that serious, but I mean,
It's supposed to be fun,
It's
but
supposed to be fun, but
purpose, Admiral. It has to have purpose to it, man.
It was, I don't know, man.
What I want to ask you, Admiral, was this whole entire season necessary? Could we just left the number one?
It was.
Could it be? Did it need to be 10 episodes? Could it have been, or 12? Could it have been just 6 and that would have been okay? I think
maybe-
it could have.
I
They could have
think I
condensed
would've-
it.
10 would have been good.
Yeah, because a lot of
Like we were saying.
week 2 with those episodes. What was it? 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, it was.
Get rid of them.
Again, they're trying to show.
I don't know what they were doing. They're boring the King to death.
They're trying to show the interplay between the politics and the aristocratic families.
I gotcha.
The power struggles. You know what's behind the scenes, establishing the
But
characters.
do you need 3 episodes to do that, Admiral?
I would have written it a little bit differently.
You could. I think you could have. If someone knows what they were doing, they could have took 15 minutes of an episode and explain all that politics stuff. Because the King, doesn't believe in politics. I rule. That's maybe why.
I think doing it in 8 episodes would have been good.
Yeah,
personally. 8 or 10 max.
You could have packaged it better. It would have better flow. You wouldn't have lost half the people, and I think that's what happened, Admiral.
Well, we didn't need a 40-minute nightclub scene, you know.
or them dancing up and down.
That's what I mean.
The wedding, right?
Yeah, they didn't need stuff like
nightclub, whatever it was. It was. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you know.
Not in a Star Wars film, guys. You didn't need to do that. You know, it's like putting Jar Jar Binks for the whole entire 3 episodes.
You know,
do you need them?
If you watch Star Wars, you know,
I don't.
They'll go into the cantina in A New Hope. That's a 5-10 minute scene.
Yeah, that's. But you don't need to overextend things or when you start to overexplain, especially to guys like me, we tune out. It might be good for you guys because you guys know exactly what's going on.
I wanted to see
you
more.
Appreciate it, but for me,
I wanted to see more espionage. I wanted to see more.
Yeah,
like,
sneaking around, man.
Sneaking around
on missions. Like,
yes.
Oh my God, they're going to get caught if they do this, and there's like some stakes that.
I wanted to see much more espionage and much more sneaking around.
You know,
they needed to get intelligence and gather intelligence.
Exactly. You know how they time jumped and they were starting to mine the planet.
Mm-hmm.
When did they show stuff like that? Like, I would have loved to see them. At least that would be interesting to look at.
Yeah,
what
they only refer to it when Cassian has a drink with the girl there. I forget.
Show me.
No, he goes. They're like drinking to the death of people,
all the people they lost,
and then they said the Battle of Gorman, and but they don't
show it.
What ends up happening is Gorman gets decimated. They mine the crap out of Gorman. As we know, the whole energy project was a big front for the Death Star, like I had said previously.
Yeah.
It was a cover. There was no energy project. Neither were they trying to find any sort of synthetic resource.
Exactly.
It was just a big front to get money
and to mine the planet,
and then mining, and half the people on the planet get killed. They get like decimated.
See, and that's the thing. They didn't even show that in the final 3 episodes.
Like, having a battle on Gorman would have been good, though. Like having the people rise up. Like there was like the little revolt in the square, but they're just getting wiped out.
That's why must see TV.
But that should have led to something else happening, like the people taking up arms all over the planet.
Like a second wave of them cleansing the planet so they can get control of it.
And then,
so
you see the battle or whatnot, some battle, even if it's like 10 minutes, fine. But something.
But they didn't even do that. And especially when the Admiral was telling King, they do more damage to them. They'd take them out.
Yeah, big time.
And not to see that at all.
Referring to the Legends material, guys.
Doesn't matter. Either way, but not to show something or representation in the last couple episodes. Just so we know that, hey, the planet is decimated. They're continuing to mess it up. Didn't even see that. We're
going on here, guys, because all in all...
Rants, guys. Ranting.
We're ranting a little bit. If you liked it,
calm down. He took off his hat.
I did. I took my hat off. If you guys liked it, good for you.
Yeah, it's like I said.
We're giving our opinions here
from a Star Wars guy point of view, and the King, just a fanboy here and there.
Could have been better from my point of view. But it's Star Wars at the end of the day. But at the same
time, Admiral, I'm not gonna say that it was crap.
No,
it was good. I just wanted it to be great, like the first season was. That's it. That's all I wanted.
The last episode and a half ruined it for me pretty much. And I actually did like the second half of episode 11.
Right.
Didn't like the first half of episode 11.
Yeah, I don't even remember it.
And I didn't like episode 12, right?
So, 12, it was just like a letdown. Like, like I said, it would have been nice to, if whatever happened in episode 10 would have been at the end of number 12. And I would say, you know what? It might not have been exactly the way I would end things between a gap, but at least it led up to something good. I don't know. That's the way I'm going to say that.
I'll leave it at this.
Final thoughts, Admiral, before we let these poor people go, because we don't want to keep on ranting.
They tried. I think
that's all you can say. It's not the worst Star Wars we saw.
No, and like I said, maybe they didn't bring Vader and the Emperor in
for a reason,
because it really wasn't that important to them. At
this point,
at this time in the timeline,
because he does show up in Rogue One, right? The hallway scene, or he goes and he wrecks everybody.
Vader goes and he's in a couple of scenes.
There you go. So that's what I'm saying. So maybe that's why they didn't bring him here, because it was too early for him to show up, and he shows up.
But I don't want him. I don't want him showing. I wouldn't have had him showing up against the rebels. I would have had him showing up confronting his own people in the Empire.
Yeah,
for their failure.
The white suits, as I call them.
Yeah,
that's who you should have wrecked shop and take out the whole. I call them a council. Take them all out. Yeah. That's what I would have done. You failed us. You let the message leaked out, because of the senator. And clean house.
It would have been nice to see like the senators meeting with the emperor briefly in something
screenshot. I don't care
as well, even if it's from a distance, and then you see Vader. You know, something like
send by his side. I don't care anything.
So many times they're referred to, but they never show them. You know.
Yeah. You know, guys, like I said, overall, I liked it. I'm not gonna say I loved it. I wanted to say I loved the series overall. The last 3 episodes, hell no, they're still better than week 2 of episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Didn't like 4, 5.
Oh
and 6.
hell no!
The Imperial perspective.
No, if I could delete them, I would. Like maybe I would have felt a little bit differently at the end of this.
Yeah.
It feels like we lost 3 episodes when we could have used it for something else, like the last 3. But overall, I'm okay with it. Most importantly, Admiral, how do you feel? You're okay with it?
Yeah, it was all right.
It gets a pass, but barely. That's our opinion. So, guys, I don't know. You guys go in the comment section below. Tell the King, tell the Admiral your thoughts. Did you like it? Did you hate it? You know, either way, keep it clean.
We respect your opinion.
That's right.
Please respect ours.
Exactly. You're entitled to whatever, but
we're allowed to disagree in this world.
Yeah, and at the same time, you got 2 different people here. You got Star Wars diehard Mr. knows everything like the back of his hand, and a guy who's just a gradual fan. So you got 2 perspectives from 2 different kind of viewers for the series overall. So Disney, I don't know, you just got to wake up. I hope whatever you bring down the road is a little bit better, a little bit put better together, and we see some results at the end of the series. For that's all I have to say.
I'm looking forward to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Yeah, that's the next movie we're gonna, and then of course the Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. So I don't know how that's gonna be.
Ahsoka season 2.
Oh, I hope that's gonna be okay. I just hope it's not goofy. That's all I ask.
Well, I think it's gonna be good.
Well, Admiral thinks it's gonna be okay. Then the King is gonna take his word for it. I don't want him to use no force against the King.
I like Ahsoka, guys. I like Ahsoka.
It was okay. I didn't mind it. Better than Obi-Wan. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Jabbed by the King.
But I will say that the fight between Vader and Obi-Wan was awesome.
That was the highlight.
That was the best.
That was the highlight.
The dialogue, everything was so good.
That was good. That's all I remember about it. Sword fighting was pretty good. The lightsaber. Sorry, I better get it right because all you guys are going to come and hate the King.
Don't say laser sword, man.
Sorry. Lightsaber. Okay, guys? All right. King, Admiral are out of here. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out our other Andor reviews. Check out my movie reviews. You guys can see what the hell. There's unboxing videos, and then I don't know what I'm going to watch down the road. There's going to be a very unique TV show that's animated. Japanese.
Too.
That's coming. There's so many movies. There's, oh my God, Mission Impossible. I can go on.
Coming up.
That's in June. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming your way.
Guys.
I can't wait.
Can't wait for that.
Like, share, and subscribe. Go check out this. Did you check out the Superman trailer? Mm-hmm. There you go. So a little bit happier about that, but we'll get to that eventually. So
that's coming soon.
Be the hell good, and we'll see you guys where? Right here on YouTube land. Admiral, let's get the hell out of here.
Salute.